reruns right now. East Tennessee State, the 16th seed in the East, taking on number 1 seed Kentucky. Let's take you there live. Dick Enberg and Jay Billis.
Our first, number 16 against the number 1 East Tennessee State. The Buccaneers from the Atlantic Sun Conference Tournament champions against the 7-time national champion Kentucky Wildcats. Losers of only 2 all year. Here's a look at the bracket, the East region bracket. These teams will advance. The winners to Syracuse, Texas, Wake Forest in our second game. Temple, Cornell, Wisconsin, and Wofford also in this section of the bracket. And for those of you just joining us in New Orleans, here's a look at the starting lineups. 10 on the floor for the Buccaneers of East Tennessee State and Coach Murray Bartow, Davis, Tubbs, Williams, Tommy Hubbard, their leading scorer and rebounder, and Brown. And the Kentucky Wildcats, 32-2, SEC champions and tournament champions. Freshman of the year, John Wall. Another freshman, Bledsoe. Miller, a sophomore. Patterson, a junior. And DeMarcus Cousins, who was the freshman of the year, as John Wall was the player of the year. 2 freshmen in the SEC. And tonight's game brought to you in HD TV by LG. Life's good. Officials are Lucky, Gladden, and Hull. Kentucky in white. East Tennessee in blue. John Calipari's first year on the bench with the Blue Bloods of Kentucky, the Thoroughbreds, the Wildcats. And they have the ball first, and this is John Wall. Miller back to Wall with Patterson on the outside, a big man. Bledsoe working his way along the baseline, and Cousins off the lane.
And the first play trying to screen Patrick Patterson into the low post. Kentucky has a major size advantage.
A steal, however, by Tubbs of East Tennessee State. Colby Davis, the only senior on this Buccaneer team. They were hit with a death and an injury, 2 top players early in the year. Hubbard from outside, their leading scorer, off the back of the rim.
This is where Kentucky really dangerous in transition.
And it's Darius Miller, the sophomore from Maysville, Kentucky, with the first points of the game.
And immediately some pressure in the backcourt, a quick trap. And John Wall gets his own rebound. That is a one-man fast break. He advances the ball by the dribble faster than anybody else in the country.
Michael Williams unable to hit the long jumper, and a foul underneath. Yeah, for East Tennessee State and Coach Murray Bartow, sophomore 7-footer Seth Coy was killed in a car accident last summer. Then the senior guard, the only 1,000-point scorer back from last year, Mike Smith, lost with a knee injury, so he only played 4 games. It's been a very difficult season for East Tennessee State, but to the credit of this man, Coach Murray Bartow, he's pulled the pieces together and formed what has been a successful team, and they rallied late in the year and won their tournament.
And Murray Bartow, son of the great Gene Bartow, coached at Memphis State, UCLA, and UAB, has done perhaps his best coaching job this year for this team.
Wall misses his first attempt, and a foul on the rebound. This is where East Tennessee State going to have trouble. John Calipari's front line is so big, not only tall but thick, and the tallest man for East Tennessee State's only 6'8". Isaiah Brown picks up the foul, his first. Inside to Patterson, and he banks in an easy 2. It's 5-0 Wildcats.
Really nice drop step by Patterson. He has done a really good job of expanding his game. Last year, primarily a low post player. Now he can step away and knock down a 3.
Isaiah Brown goes inside, has it picked away, and finally out of bounds.
Patterson with a good catch inside. Makes the catch, he throws it. Nice pass to that inside hand, but as the defender is playing him on his inside shoulder, just takes one dribble, drop steps, and kisses it off the glass. A really nice interior move by Patrick Patterson.
From the corner, the 3 for number 3, and it's Tubbs with the first points for the Buccaneers.
Tubbs, a transfer from Alabama, as Kentucky walks with it. Tubbs is a big game player. Whenever East Tennessee State has had a big game, he has stepped forward and played very, very well. At 29 points against the College of Charleston, at 18 points against Mercer in the A-Sun final. When they played Tennessee earlier in the year, put up 22 against the Vols.
That's a great compliment to any kid, isn't it, when their coach says he's a big game player.
It makes the coach feel better, too, because when you're playing in a big game, you got somebody you can really rely upon.
Hubbard misses his second attempt. 5-3 Kentucky as they hustle into the offensive end. third straight freshman guard that is just a brilliant player for John Calipari. Look at that first step, and he draws the foul.
DeMarcus Cousins was doubled down low when he got the ball in the low block, and that's one thing he's really improved upon is his understanding of how to deal with a double team, whether it comes down from the strong side or it's a post-to-post double. He's taking his time and kicking it back out, and Kentucky finding the open man.
Tubbs first foul. Wall, the freshman from Raleigh, North Carolina, makes it 6-3 Kentucky.
Here's Cousins. The double comes post to post. Tommy Hubbard comes over. He just turns, and well, he turned the wrong way, but at least he got the ball back out. You can dribble out of that double team.
Wall, a 77% free throw shooter, makes both. 7-3 Buccaneers, trailing by 4.
John Wall, you just take one look at him. He was born to play basketball.
Michael Williams, tough banker, and it's 7-5 as Williams, the junior from Manchester, Tennessee, has his first bucket.
He's another player that's really expanded his game. Nice pass.
Darius Miller unable to connect, and here comes Williams the other way for the blue jersey East Tennessee State Buccaneers. Off the left hand, he showed you the right and the left, and it's tied at 7, 3 minutes in.
Well, Kentucky didn't do a good job of getting back in transition defense, especially DeMarcus Cousins. He got double teamed on the other end, was slow getting back.
Inside to DeMarcus Cousins, he gets the double team. Then inside to Patterson, and he just muscles his way between two Buccaneers to make it 9-7 Kentucky.
Well, that was an awfully good pass by DeMarcus Cousins, but an even better pass or catch by Patrick Patterson. You don't see big guys pass the ball quite as well as Cousins, especially as a freshman. He just takes few too many risks, but overall, that young man can handle, pass. He's got great feet. He's going to be a great player. He's already a great player, but he's going to be, if he sticks with it, he's got all-time great written on him.
Williams took an extra step, and that's out of bounds to Kentucky.
Williams in transition, bringing it up with the left hand and then kissing it off the glass with that left. And DeMarcus Cousins down low. The double team comes as soon as he puts the ball on the deck. And Patrick Patterson is just so strong in there.
Two substitutes for Calipari. Darnell Dotson, number 3, and Daniel Orton, 33, enter for the Wildcats.
Justin Tubbs, number 3 for East Tennessee State. A great athlete. Wall flew right by him.
First shot by Dotson, the sophomore from Greenbelt, Maryland, is a bit short. East Tennessee with the ball down by 2, now up by 1 as Tubbs hits another tray.
One thing that Kentucky did not want to have happen is to give this team a little bit of confidence, especially Justin Tubbs. He's a guy that can knock down a lot of three-point shots.
And Bledsoe answers at the other end. Eric Bledsoe, 11 points on the season, an excellent outside shooter. Streaky, and Calipari feels his success within the tournament is going to depend on how good Eric Bledsoe, the freshman from Birmingham, plays.
Justin Tubbs, the transfer from Alabama. If you're not right up on him with a hand up, he will drill it right in your grill. Outstanding shot.
Dick Enberg with Jay Billis. Bill Raftery is back there in another region. Well, Kentucky here, the second of the number 1s, heavily favored, but sometimes they play young.
And they are young. And sometimes you worry about a young team. Are they going to just think it's going to happen when they step on the floor? They're just going to overwhelm a team that physically and from a talent standpoint they're superior to. But this East Tennessee State has some good players. They've got some good players that have played on a high level, especially Justin Tubbs. You have to come prepared for a fight. And thus far, Kentucky has gotten a fight from East Tennessee State, and they have played very well.
Kentucky with a 12-10 lead at the 4.5-minute mark into this game.
East Tennessee State coming out now in a 2-3 zone.
Orton well off the mark, and Patterson gets the offensive rebound and draws the foul. So there's where the big man just overpowering a couple of smaller Buccaneers.
Well, Patrick Patterson is a respected basketball player. He is an unbelievably hard worker.
Michael Williams picks up his first foul.
Patrick Patterson was the leading scorer for this team and has really done a nice job with all these freshmen as a leader.
That's his 5th point. Baseball coming up. Fantasy Baseball League. Award-winning fantasy baseball commissioner. You can try it for free at cbssports.com/commissioner. 2 more points off Patterson's free throws, and Kentucky builds its lead back to 4.
Kentucky trying to put some full court pressure and some pressure in general on East Tennessee State to push them a little bit further out on the floor and make them make some decisions under stress.
Boy, look at that long-range 3, but this time Tubbs cannot connect. And almost a steal by Hubbard. Bledsoe, nice pass. Patterson draws the foul, and he comes up a little gimpy after that play.
Eric Bledsoe is an explosive basketball player. And when he is confident and playing well, Kentucky is that much better. He just gives them another dimension and another gear with his athleticism and his ability to get to the basket.
Patterson, a junior, but will graduate in May. Many thought he would leave the collegiate ranks after last year, but when he saw this flood of talent coming in, recruited by Calipari, he thought it might be a good idea to hang around. And they're inspired by his presence.
And he's been a real leader. There aren't that many guys in college basketball that can be the leading scorer and rebounder of a team and come in and take really sort of third fiddle status.
Yeah, tough break for East Tennessee State. Michael Williams had that rebound all to himself and bounced it out of bounds. So another clock and another possession for the Kentucky Wildcats.
I'll tell you what, this team does not win without Patrick Patterson. He is a huge part of the success of this team. The other players, the freshmen, get more of the attention, but he does all the little things and a lot of big things to make Kentucky win.
Into Orton. Oh, what a body on this man. He has his first points. Daniel Orton, 6'10" freshman, Oklahoma City, an 8-0 run for the Cats.
Orton showing a lot of poise when he caught that ball. Gave a little fake, gathered himself, and then made a nice, easy post move. Kept it simple.
Isaiah Brown at 6'8", showing he can handle the ball. And Orton rips down the rebound. 8 unanswered by Kentucky. 10 unanswered by the Cats. And a foul.
When you talk about Kentucky, you talk about their explosiveness, and they have size. The nice post feed inside, and Daniel Orton makes a nice, easy post move and kept it very, very simple, and that's the way you should do it. And John Wall in transition, he's got great vision, left the floor to make the pass, and that is a man's finish by Patrick Patterson.
Over 6 minutes played, and here's Patrick Patterson already a point away from double figures.
Well, if you run the floor with John Wall, you are going to get rewarded because Wall can not only get the ball up court quickly, but he can deliver. He's got great vision on the floor.
Tommy Hubbard picked up his second foul, so he now is out of the lineup. And we see J.C. Ward for the first time, a 6'6" freshman from Marietta, number 44. East Tennessee State trying to snap this string of 11 straight Kentucky points. It's Adam Salazzo, number 43, in for the first time. Salazzo, and his pass not there. Isaiah Brown's shot was stolen by Salazzo. And then he gets it back. Patterson. 13 straight points for Kentucky. Timeout East Tennessee State, and the Wildcats fans love it.
Kentucky with an 11-point lead, and just as we were talking about the poise of Daniel Orton, a freshman on the defense or on the offensive end, he throws the ball away after grabbing a rebound, and Patrick Patterson had leaked out a little bit early, and when Adam Salazzo loses the ball, DeAndre Liggins finds Patrick Patterson in transition.
Since East Tennessee State took a 10-9 lead, it was as if Kentucky said, you have the audacity to lead us here in the tournament? And they run off 12 straight points without a reply. Salazzo doesn't find anything. Here come the Cats on the run again. This freshman has had a sensational year with assists. Not a bad shooter either. John Wall
Just has extraordinary ability, Dick. He's got long arms and an explosive athlete. You're not going to find anyone faster with the basketball end to end. He's the complete package.
NCAA March Madness on demand, streaming every game from the NCAA Championship online for free. Watch any game from the tournaments live at ncaa.com. Terry Stevenson into the game, has a foul, number 21. Patterson with 11 points, East Tennessee with 10, and Kentucky now up by 13.
Kentucky has got a lot of athletic and long-armed defenders out on the floor. It's an outstanding defensive team. It is very difficult to find an open shot against the Wildcats.
This East Tennessee State Buccaneer team hasn't seen anything like the men in white during their season. Micah Williams, another, boy, he uses the glass well. That's 3 shots that he's kissed off the glass and 6 points to lead his team.
Really nice use of the left hand. And Michael Williams, over his last 3 games, averaging 21. He was all tournament in the Atlantic Sun tournament. Had a terrific tournament.
Dotson, he wears number 3. He shoots the 3.
A really good pass by Perry Stevenson. Just looked opposite when he got the ball in the low post.
Hubbard from the side, still looking for his first point. Rebound Dotson. He's an old man, Dotson, a sophomore. Bledsoe, the freshman. In for the first time, DeAndre Liggins, another sophomore for Kentucky, wears number 34. Bledsoe sets up the offense. David Ledford, one of the great announcers of all time. Basketball for Kentucky. Balances the floor for Kentucky. Fight for the rebound, and the stronger Orton rips it away and draws the foul from Michael Williams. Kentucky finding a happy home here in New Orleans, 26-12. My special scout in the Commonwealth, Gary Bazans, told me before the start of the season, watch out for these young Wildcats. You're going to see something special. Right on. 26-12 they lead with 11:13 left in the opening half, and at the line is Daniel Orton. He cast quite a shadow, this fella. 6'10" and 255 from Oklahoma City. You look at the bodies of these big freshmen. It's hard to believe. If they walked into a room, you say, well, how old do you think they are? What level of basketball are they playing? Freshman? College?
And what position do you play, linebacker or defensive line?
Yeah, they've got a whole right side of an offensive line there. They put Cousins and Orton.
You know, it's funny, so many people talk about the talent of Kentucky, and it's considerable, but I've been most impressed with the resiliency this team has shown over the course of the year. To win 32 games and to have been down in games all the times they had to come back and battle through.
Oh, what a foul by J.C. Ward. DeAndre Liggins comes up trying to force a smile to see if he's got all his dentures.
Well, that's what you call a hard foul. Going up trying to block the shot, but he put him down into the wood.
Number 1 Kentucky, the top seed in the East, flexing its talented muscles here in New Orleans. They lead 26-12 over a game number 16 East Tennessee State squad, but overpowered by these thoroughbreds from the Commonwealth.
And when Daniel Orton goes out of the game, you think maybe we'll get a break with a smaller guy, and they bring in DeMarcus Cousins, who is bigger, stronger, and more talented.
Liggins has his first point. A 27-12 lead. Early in the game, East Tennessee State led 9-7. They scored 3 since, 17 on this run, or make it 18 for Kentucky.
How far the pressure is pushing East Tennessee State out on the floor. They really can't run anything.
Nice pass, but it's stolen nicely as well by DeAndre Liggins.
That was a nice play. Got on the floor for it as well.
Marcus Cousins. And actually, they take the ball away from the big fella. Nice play by Davis. Out of bounds to East Tennessee State.
Cousins getting double teamed every time he gets it. He's just got to be stronger with the ball. Tommy Hubbard has both hands up and is able to deflect that ball and knock it away. Cousins has to be strong enough to deliver that ball back out to the perimeter where it came from.
J.C. Ward, who made that last steal or collaborated on it, goes out. Isaiah Brown, the starter, returns. Brown with the ball. Quick move inside, and he's rewarded with a bounce. 27-14. He's the first man other in the pair of Tubbs and Williams to score for East Tennessee State.
2-3 zone now by East Tennessee State.
Patterson and Cousins, the big man on the floor now for Kentucky. Liggins, Wall, and Bledsoe around the perimeter. Wall passes up to 3, moves in for the 2. And along with his shooting, John Wall has 210 assists. That's a record for a Kentucky freshman. Got to be in the top 5 or 10 in the country.
Well, some players look, but John Wall can see, and he sees the entire floor. He's a terrific passer. The only downside to his game, he turns it over a little too much, but he's still learning, and right now he'll accept a few turnovers for all the positives he brings.
Of the other 3 number 1s, Kansas, Syracuse, Duke, which of those teams match up best against the bigness of Kentucky?
Well, both Kansas and Syracuse match up very well with Kentucky. Syracuse plays a different style, which I think would be difficult for a young team to counter. And Kansas is so deep and so experienced. They're not quite as explosive as Kentucky.
Good hustle defensively, and a steal by Tommy Hubbard, and he draws a foul in the scramble. Murray Bartow helping the officiating there on the far sidelines. Foul on John Wall is first. And Calipari, coaching at UMass, Memphis, and in the pros with the Nets, New Jersey Nets, 3 years, and now his first year in Lexington.
John Calipari's done a lot of great coaching jobs throughout the course of his career, but I think this is his best.
There's a bad pass, and Hubbard loses it out of bounds.
5 straight 30-win seasons for that man. And this one was done with not only a bunch of freshmen, but every player in this program was new to the system and new to John Calipari. And to have won 32 games out of 34 to this point is really an extraordinary accomplishment. And it's not like this team hasn't been challenged. It has been.
Bledsoe for 3. They just shoot it so well. 32-14, Kentucky.
Well, East Tennessee State trying to pack it in that 2-3 zone, and that was a very comfortable 3-point shot, and you can't allow good shooters, and Bledsoe's a good shooter, to step comfortably into a shot.
Isaiah Brown, the tallest Buccaneer, handling it outside, and he stripped of it. Bledsoe, another easy 2 for the Cats with 8 minutes to go in the half. Kentucky has built a 20-point lead.
You don't see many 6'11" centers knock the ball away with the sort of acuity that DeMarcus Cousins showed right there.
And a bump foul against Cousins.
Cousins knocks the ball away, and Eric Bledsoe, 6'1", the arms of a man 6'7".
All I do is win, 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 no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go up.
Well, it's always been a super city, and after the NFL success, indeed, this New Orleans super city. 34-14 Kentucky, enjoying a superb time. 12 for 17 from the floor for the Wildcats, 71%. East Tennessee State shooting 40%, and against this Kentucky defense, that's about what they allow even the higher ranked teams. Brown inside against Cousins. Cousins clears.
Brown did a good job getting that shot up, and Cousins just made him shoot over.
Bledsoe, boy, he makes that basket look like it's twice as big as it is. He's got 11.
And this team is hot, and they are hot right now. They make the game look awfully easy.
Salazzo back in the game for the Buccaneers.
Really, a group of freshmen hasn't done this in college basketball since the Fab Five at Michigan in the early 90s.
Tubbs misses a three, and Kentucky goes on the attack once again. Kentucky, tremendous tradition. This is their 50th appearance in the tournament. They have 7 national titles, second only to UCLA's 11. Steal, Tubbs then, and then Salazzo loses it to Wall. That means another three. And a miss by Darius Miller.
If you're going to play with Kentucky, you've got to be judicious about when to take it. As Michael Williams takes, he's done it with the left hand and now with the right, with these little running layups, floaters, whatever you want to call them. He's been very good in transition.
Bledsoe, he's hit 3 straight trays, and it's a 40-16 Kentucky advantage. 14 for Bledsoe. He's 4 for 4, 3 of them in a row, all outside the line.
John Calipari was telling us if Bledsoe plays well, Kentucky will play well, and he is playing well.
Threw that one away, and Hubbard is fouled as he goes up for the layup. Coming up, at TNT at the half. That means Greg and Seth will have you out to take a live look at the other action going on tonight in the NCAA tournament, plus all the latest tournament news and an AT&T Naismith watch update, all coming up on AT&T at the half. I suspect you might see that Murray State finish against Vanderbilt a time or two before the evening is through. What an exciting finale there as Murray State, the 13 seed, wins at 66-65. Fun celebration.
How about the poise they showed at the end of that game when most kids would shoot it to be able to pass that off to a teammate to get a shot. Reminded you of 1987 when Thomas passed it off to Smart for the win for Indiana.
Patterson says, how about me? I want to shoot a three. Bledsoe, you're taking them all. And bigger than you. There's 6 minutes left before halftime. Salazzo takes it inside, and Orton with the foul. And maybe not Orton. Let's see who they pick out of that.
Well, Eric Bledsoe, as fast as John Wall is and as explosive, Eric Bledsoe is in that same category. And when he is allowed to set his feet and eye that basket, he can be a very, very good shooter. You've got to make him put the ball on the deck and relocate so that he can just get a rhythm jumper.
Darius Miller committed the last foul for Kentucky. Salazzo on the line. That's 3 straight free throws missed by 4 straight by the Buccaneers. So they haven't scored much, and on the charity line, they're not taking a dance there as well. So again, as Jay Billis indicated, only 6'1", but with his length, he plays like a man 6'5". He's by far the shortest on the roster for Kentucky. 6'4". Next is John Wall. Wall getting plenty of rest with this big lead. And he is fouled. Salazzo got him, and Bledsoe go to the line and shoot 2 more.
And not only is Kentucky talented, but they're very deep. So John Calipari can go to his bench and bring some different players in and keep them fresh, and they can keep coming at you. And to have a guy like Bledsoe that can step in as a backup point guard is a nice thing.
He scored 18 in that terrific SEC tournament finale against Mississippi State. He debuted rather nicely, took a big bow against Morehead State, scored 24, a freshman, first game. Oh, he missed. Humanity strikes the Kentucky Wildcats.
Yeah, that opening game that Bledsoe had, that was when John Wall was sitting out a game. And the Morehead State coach said, John Wall's better than this kid? Holy cow.
There's a steal by Isaiah Brown, waits for help to come. And no goaltending. Orton with a block. Jarvis Jones thought he had an easy 2. Orton does have an easy 2. Earned it at the other end.
I'm not sure there is an easy 2 against this Kentucky team, simply because they've got such great length and athleticism, and they're
big guys will go after shot blocks.
Finally, Tommy Hubbard, the 6'4" junior from Boston, leading scorer, 14 a game, has his first points at Trey. It's 43-18. KY. We're back in New Orleans, and here's a look at our tournament summary. First 4 games of the day decided by a combined 12 points, including our game here. 51-50 Old Dominion over Notre Dame. St. Mary's first tournament win for the Gales since 1959. And Murray State, the Earl Thomas game-winning shot at the buzzer to defeat Vanderbilt was certainly the climactic shot and exciting moment of this first day of the tournament.
Now, that St. Mary's win over Richmond indicates just how good St. Mary's is, because Richmond is a very good basketball team out of the Atlantic 10.
St. Mary's defeating Gonzaga in their tournament to get both Gonzaga, the Bulldogs, and the Gales into it. Here's Kentucky's bracket here in New Orleans. Texas and Wake Forest play the second game tonight. Winners meet on Saturday for a right to move on to Syracuse for the East Regional site.
Kentucky has no cakewalk in their path to Indianapolis in the Final Four. In the second round, to have to play a team like Texas or Wake Forest, both of whom are athletic and who have solid guys up front that can rebound, that can block shots, and teams that can defend and match you from an athleticism standpoint. That's a difficult second round matchup, whoever wins that game.
Orton gets 2 free throws, so he matches his 6 rebounds with 6 points off the bench. 4 minutes to go before the intermission. Nice drive, but no success. Sheldon Cooley trying to get inside on this Kentucky defense.
That was a really nice job by Darnell Dodson to get to the glass. Anytime that a big guy for Kentucky goes to block a shot, that can sometimes leave the offensive glass open for East Tennessee State. It helps when the guards come down and all 5 guys get to the defensive glass. So Darnell Dodson did a very nice job there.
Bledsoe weaves his way inside. Orton. And out come the Buccaneers 3-on-1. And the foul as Cooley takes it to the basket. But it's 45-18 Kentucky. Well, the first weekend in April, the Final Four. The next weekend, CBS Sports presents a sport in its grandest glory, the Masters. Have you ever been?
I have been several times, and it is one of the great sporting events in the world, I think.
And it appears that Tiger Woods might indeed be in the field, as there is a tradition unlike any other at the Masters.
You think if you're paired with Tiger Woods, there may be a few patrons following that grouping?
But you know, the decorum at Augusta National will certainly prevent the kind of perhaps heckling or other gallery participation you might see otherwise. And a basket for East Tennessee State. Hard working inside is Sheldon Cooley, the freshman from Tampa.
Tommy Hubbard did a nice job of picking that ball up off the floor and getting it in. They kept it alive. And Hubbard was able to pick it up.
Hubbard gets the 3-point play and 45-21.
A little full court pressure being put on by East Tennessee State, but broken easily.
Oh my, up on top is Orton on a nice feed from Dotson right on the rim. 8 for Orton.
When you put a press on, that's when head coach Murray Bartow looks at his assistant and says, who decided to do that? Was that your call?
Nice ball movement. Look at the passing. Patterson on the finish. Patrick Patterson with 13.
Well, Kentucky is cutting up East Tennessee State, but the thing you like watching is they're sharing the ball. Instead of taking this team one-on-one, they're really sharing the ball and moving without it. That's what makes it really fun to watch.
Hubbard with a 3, 6 points on a couple of trays for him. Another high lob, and this time it's Patterson throwing it down. Past the half 100 mark for Kentucky.
Well, when you've got 2 big guys running the break, throwing lobs to each other, Nick Murray Bartow is saying, you know your press has not been effective. First is Darnell Dodson to Orton, and then Orton decides, oh, the second one, that little penetration into the middle, and then it's Orton returning the favor on the lob in transition. But Kentucky has just got so much ability at every position.
51 points for Kentucky with 2 minutes left in the half. Old Dominion scored 51 in the game to beat Notre Dame, and it would appear Kentucky and Old Dominion will meet here on Saturday for the right to go on.
Notre Dame had the burn offense, and this team
won't be Old Dominion, excuse me. They're going Old Dominion and Baylor, and it'll be Kentucky against Wake Forest or Texas.
Kentucky's shown a different kind of burn in this game. They're burning the nets.
But the point is, it took Old Dominion full 40 to score 51. Kentucky has eased their way to 51. Tubbs unable to hit the jumper, gets it back for the Buccaneers, and there's the hold on Bledsoe. First foul on him. Let's see, that's a 10th Kentucky foul, so double bonus now for the Buccaneers, but they've missed a ton of free throws here in this first half.
And for the most part in this first half, even though Kentucky has had a really big lead, they have continued to defend. They've given up a few open shots, but they're still working at it.
Tubbs with his 7th point. Buccaneers are now 2 for 10 from the line.
That's actually the one thing that coming into the season we had a little bit of concern over was, would this young team value defense the way John Calipari coached teams have over the years? They really have answered the bell defensively. This has become a very good defensive team.
Cousins back outside. Ramon Harris gets an unusual action as that kind of crammed its way on the brace of the rim and fell home.
Just hit the heel and it deadened it. Just fell right through. That was a good pass out by DeMarcus Cousins.
Micah Williams is denied. Harris, who doesn't see as much duty, takes another quick shot. And at the other end, it's Isaiah Brown, the athletic 6'8" sophomore from Miami, getting his 4th point.
And Brown had the same thing happen that Harris did on the other end. Just hit the heel of the rim and softly dropped in.
Home of the Hornets in the NBA is soft rims here at New Orleans Arena, adjacent to the Superdome. Final seconds, clock off. Kentucky will take the last shot of the period with 9. Bledsoe with 8. Ramon Harris with 5. And that ball going up into the net, and so the whistle will take East Tennessee State with 4.1 seconds to the other end. A quick final shot. Well, it's like going to the ballet. You like ballet, but boy, when you see the Royal Ballet or the Bolshoi, you say, this is good. I don't care what the final score is.
Can that Barishnikov guy dunk on you? Because these guys can.
Solazzo at the buzzer, can't hit the 3. And what a half for number 1 Kentucky. 54-26 they lead. We'll send you to Gumbel at the half after this message and a word from your local station. Fans coming in from the Garden District on the tram. Halftime 54-26. A look at the behind the stats brought to you by LG. Michael Williams with 4 bankers for 8 points to lead the Buccaneers. Bledsoe and Patterson 15 each. That's 30. They've outscored the entire East Tennessee State team. For more in-depth analysis of this game, you can watch CBS College Sports Network's continuing coverage of the NCAA Tournament. Welcome back for the second half. Just one of those that's like going to the opera or the ballet. What are they going to do next?
Well, this Kentucky team is way more talented than East Tennessee State, but what's been really impressive is how hard they've played. They've taken East Tennessee State seriously. They've respected their opponent, and they have come out and they hit them with a bag of hammers from the opening tap, and they've done it with guys like Patrick Patterson and Eric Bledsoe, even John Wall. John Wall played 11 minutes in the first half. He had 7 assists.
Very unselfish, and just he knows he's as good as anyone, but doesn't carry it in an egotistical way. Michael Williams, who showed flashes of outstanding offense in that opening half with 8 points to lead the Buccaneers. Draws a foul to start this second half. Darius Miller draws his 3rd foul.
That's another thing about this Kentucky team that's really impressed me throughout the course of the year is that they have taken every opponent seriously. And while they've not always played at their best, they've always given their best. And they have found ways to win in situations where even veteran teams would have thought, you know, there's no way we can pull this out, especially that game against Mississippi State, the last one they played against the Bulldogs. To be down like they were and to come back and win that game in overtime said an awful lot about the heart this team has.
Boy, the free throw shooting has been atrocious for East Tennessee State. 2 for 13.
Probably unused to having an open look in this game.
And Murray Bartow having to take all the punches there on the Buccaneer bench. Great bloodlines for Bartow as Dad Gene took the Memphis State team to the finals, lost to UCLA and Bill Walton. Patterson inside, having it his own way. 17 for him to lead all scores.
Assist number 8 for John Wall, just racking them up.
Isaiah Brown with a strong move to the hoop.
Isaiah Brown's father, Eric Brown, was an outstanding basketball player at the University of Miami. 2nd all-time in points scored to one Rick Barry.
Almost a no-look like Bledsoe. Off the dribble, just flipped it up and almost had another perfect alley-oop. And a hold, a check outside. It's all against Mike Williams, his 3rd. You know, Gene, Bartow in 1976 replaced the immortal, the legend, John Wooden at UCLA. Knows that. Foul underneath. Gene was here yesterday, one of the grand gentlemen of basketball, one of the outstanding coaches, and his son Murray in college, he said, Dad, I want to be a coach too. And Gene said, no, you don't.
He said coaching's a tough profession when you're smart and you have a nice mother.
Maybe we had to try something else, but Murray would not be dissuaded.
And you knew he really wanted it. His first job was as a graduate assistant to Bob Knight at Indiana in 1986 and 1987.
How good was that for timing? 1887 in this city, New Orleans. Keith Smart with a shot that won the title for Bob Knight and the Hoosiers against Syracuse. 1-point win. Dan Dockage was the other graduate assistant. 2 men that went on to be head coaches.
Dan Dockage and Murray Bartow, they were left by Bob Knight the next day after they won the championship. They were late to the bus, and Coach Knight said, they're late, let's go.
But with that disappointment, they did have another reward. They learned a whole new vocabulary from Bob. There it is, Smart against Syracuse. Look at this, falling out of bounds, dead center, and the Hoosiers had the championship for Bob Knight. Keith Smart, that was at the Superdome, 74-73.
Bob Knight still reserves the highest praise for Darryl Thomas, number 24, on that team that made the pass to Keith Smart. Who felt like there were a lot of players, or most players, would have panicked and taken that shot, but he kept his poise and made that pass so that Keith Smart could get that shot off.
Micah Williams, the first Buccaneer in double figures, 2 free throws and 10 points in the game.
Michael Williams has really come on strong this year. Just a junior and was a role player on last year's NCAA tournament team for East Tennessee State that took Pittsburgh, a #1 seed, down to the wire.
Deep in the corner, and it's Eric Bledsoe, another 3 for him. He has 18.
I think the scouting report on Eric Bledsoe pretty clear. Don't let him just bounce into his shot. You got to make him put the ball on the floor, and thus far East Tennessee State has not made him do that.
Michael Williams answers with a 3. 13 for Williams to lead the Buccaneers. Off balance and skidding to the floor, DeAndre Liggins, the 6'6" sophomore from Chicago. Tommy Hubbard with his 4th foul. Liggins goes to the line. He's averaging 3.5 a game. Just a 60% free throw shooter. That may be another Achilles for Kentucky. They don't shoot free throws that well. They're in the 200s nationally. Well, next Wednesday, a special night of Survivor. Both tribes have to send someone home. Who's going to go? A new Survivor on a special night Wednesday, only CBS, before our Thursday regional action in the NCAA Tournament.
You have to believe that at some point in this NCAA tournament, the free throw line is going to be an issue for Kentucky. And will they knock them down, or will they give someone some hope to beat them by not knocking them down?
Isaiah Brown scrambling, trying to get his own missed shot. And the tie-up arrow points to Kentucky.
Nice job by Liggins to get down on the ground for that ball. A couple other Wildcats. DeMarcus Cousins was just bending over at the waist for the ball, and Liggins got down on the floor.
J.C. Ward back in for East Tennessee State for Tommy Hubbard. Another game to follow here in New Orleans. It'll be number 8 against number 9, Wake Forest and Texas, University of Texas.
2-3 zone for East Tennessee State, and Kentucky setting ball screens against that.
DeMarcus Cousins outside Bledsoe. Shooter's bounce, rattles and drops. 21 for Bledsoe. He's closing in on his career high in his freshman year, 25, the most he's scored this year.
Every time Kentucky gets the ball inside, they've been kicking it back out and getting something really good on the other end of the floor.
Isaiah Brown with a rebound, couldn't get it up. Wall going out of bounds, feeds it back to Cousins. He's got eyes in the back of his head as well. No wonder got all those assists. And a foul. Well, you got to get ready for the big one. Texas is going to be out in another hour or so.
They had that up on the big screen, so that young man's going to hear about it from some friends of his.
And he was outside my hotel window last night. Serves him right. I hope he misses the whole game. I missed a good night. Oh, there's the other guy raising hell. At the line is Cousins.
That's what a wild city New Orleans can be. You come to a ball game to get some rest.
That's too true. Nice move by Tubbs, and he pays the price right into that Kentucky wall.
Wall indeed. DeMarcus Cousins helped Justin Tubbs up after he knocked him to the ground, but he actually just went up to block the shot, and Tubbs looked like he'd been hit by a truck.
You know, that 20 double-doubles by DeMarcus Cousins this year, the most in a long time at Kentucky in a season. You have to go all the way back to the 72-73 season. Jim Andrews with 21 double-doubles.
Well, DeMarcus Cousins can be as good as he wants to be. And he is an outstanding prospect. He's got great feet. He's obviously got size at 6'11", 275 pounds. But he's got terrific skill level. And as he matures and as he gets his emotions in check and learns how to harness his emotions, the sky's the limit for him potentially.
What a beautiful feed underneath by Liggins. Has set up Patterson for another EC2. 19 for the junior Patterson.
East Tennessee State has found it impossible to stay in front of Kentucky's drivers. When they put the ball on the deck, they've gotten anything they've wanted. Nice little wraparound pass, and you know that Patrick Patterson's going to catch it. He has got a great pair of hands.
Michael Williams been one bright offensive spot, and Tubbs with a couple of threes early misses that one. Wall checking the floor as he brings it down court, finds his buddy Bledsoe, and Bledsoe at 24, one away from his season high.
And John Wall with yet another assist, a controlled break. But Eric Bledsoe has not been made to dribble into a shot yet.
Look at the speed of Wall, coast to coast, and Bledsoe with a spirited offensive rebound and gets it back out to Patterson. Wall's turn to shoot a three. Oh, man. Lock up the Cupid dolls. Close the carnival. They're taking all the toys home. Kentucky shooting lights out. 11 for 18 from three-point range. It's 72-35. Wall to wall shooting.
Team Player of the Year John Wall over his last 3 games, averaging just under 8 assists per game. He's got 9 assists already in this ball game against East Tennessee State. He is built to play this game. Long-armed, incredibly athletic, explosive. You're not going to find a faster point guard. He's got incredible aptitude for this game.
6'4" freshman from Raleigh, North Carolina. The Great Wall of Lexington. Cooley inside has it batted away by Cousins. Bledsoe draws the foul. And with that, we have a timeout. 15:25 left in the second half. Kentucky on the run.
Greg Gumbel in New York with a Southwest Tournament update in Providence. Ohio and Georgetown, the Bobcats, just kind of having fun. The alley-oop to Devon Washington for 2 here. Take a look at the score. 55-42 Ohio now. Still plenty of time remaining in the second half. Let's take you back to New Orleans, Dick and Jay.
Eric Bledsoe at the line has just hit the first free throw, 25 to match his freshman and high, and now 26. And he's also tied the NCAA tournament record. He has 7 threes. That ties Tony Delk of Syracuse in the '96 championship. This freshman Bledsoe, quite a game. Ties the record for threes and surpasses his own best scoring game as a Wildcat with 26. Salazzo inside has it rejected by Cousins. Michael Williams can't connect, and Salazzo able to bat it in. That's his first basket. 74-37. The Wildcats still have doubled the score of their opponents. Look at that. 2-point percentage, 3-point percentage, free throw percentage is their weakest number for Kentucky. That's what you got to do. Get them on the free throw line.
Got to foul him every possession. Now Patrick Patterson getting into the act. That's an area where he's really improved, is his ability to knock down a perimeter jump shot.
22 for him. J.C. Ward, the big man, hits a 3. Freshman from Marietta, Georgia, has his first points. And a rare air ball for the Wildcats.
John Hood just entered the ball game, a freshman from Madisonville, Kentucky. Doesn't see a whole lot of playing time. There's not a whole lot of playing time to get with this group.
John Calavari now going deep in his bench, giving his reserves a chance to play. There's Tony Delk, good to him with us.
And next to him, Scott Padgett sitting to his right. That was an incredible basketball team they had in 1996. When you think about guys like Walter McCarty and Ron Mercer, Walter McCarty on the staff of Rick Pitino at Louisville. That team was an example for coaches through the years. They would give the stat sheet to their teams and ask them first, and they would say, who was the leading scorer on that team? How many minutes did they play? And nobody would know the answer. All they would know is that that Kentucky team was loaded with talent and won the national championship.
2 more misses. Michael Williams guilty this time. And for free throw shooting in the tournament, 6 for 19 in this game for the Buccaneers.
That 96 Kentucky team, I still think, the most talented team in the last 15 years.
Outside, Dotson misses the 3, and it comes back out as John Hood gets the offensive board. Hood is a 6'6" freshman from Madisonville, Kentucky.
East Tennessee State sitting in a 2-3 zone.
Dotson forces the shot. Ward with the rebound. Salazzo. Blocked by Patterson. No, you don't, says Patrick Patterson, the 6'9" junior.
Well, in the Atlantic Sun Conference, when Salazzo beats his defender, that's a shot that he would normally get up without worry. But against shot blockers like DeMarcus Cousins and Patrick Patterson, that's coming right back at him.
Salazzo spinning, and there it is again. This time Cousins flies swats, but a foul underneath. Well, reminder on Sunday, CBS series of balancing acts and breakdowns. It's a new Amazing Race Sunday. After 60 minutes, only CBS. You got the Sunday doubleheader, second round, and then 60 minutes and Amazing Race. Adam Salazzo, he's a sophomore from Tampa, went to Armwood High School. Wears number 43 to honor. We told you about Seth Coy, the 7-foot sophomore killed in a car accident last summer. He speaks to Seth's mom regularly and honors his former teammate wearing his 43.
Murray Bartow was effusive in his praise of Seth Coy, not only as a person, but saying what a good player he was going to be. That he had played in the state of Indiana at Washington High School with Tyler Zeller, who's now a sophomore at North Carolina and an outstanding player. They formed the Twin Towers, both over 7 feet.
Coy killed in a single passenger accident on a slippery highway, lost control off the leg of Cousins, out of bounds to East Tennessee State. Calipari trying to muster up a worried look here.
I think he's trying to decide what he's going to do, how much longer he's going to play some of the starters. Because you want your players to get a good run in and make sure that they feel like they've played a full game, but at the same time, you want to be respectful of your opponent and get your other players some time if you can.
And Patterson able to almost ram down that left-handed follow. 12:22 to go, and Kentucky has banked this win long ago. Still fun to see the outstanding talent in the white and blue of the Wildcats. Another block. Cousins coming around the backside to deny. 7 blocks. That's about the average for Kentucky on the season. 7 per game.
Just lurking from behind Cooley. That is one big man, DeMarcus Cousins. And he's a big man that can move. He's got unbelievably quick feet for his size.
Cousins goes out as Calipari empties his bench. And a blocking foul. Okay, yes and no from you, Jay Billis. Players, will they be back at Kentucky next year? John Wall.
No, he will go to the next level.
Bledsoe.
That's an open question. I'm not sure about that.
Cousins.
He's going to go.
Patterson.
That's another open question. I think he probably will go. He's had a very good year. Some of it may depend on what happens with this team going forward. Do they win it all? If they do, I think it's more likely that some players will go. But you know, Patrick Patterson has spent 3 years in college. It's a different age now.
John Harrelson.
I think John Harrelson will be back.
John the Jr., not to make fun of him, 6'10" from St. Charles, Missouri, but we'll probably see duty before this game is finished.
Yeah, my college coach, Dick, counseled me to leave after every season. It was for a different reason, though, than John Wall's going to be leaving.
You had over 1,000, didn't you?
I did. It shows you how easy the game was back then.
Don't be so demeaning. I mean, it kind of takes down your level of importance here. You know? People think that you were an all-star.
I don't think they think that.
John Wall still in the game, just to prove that he hasn't lost his touch. He softly drills another 3 and 12 points for him. Wall, the leading scorer for Kentucky in the season, 17 average.
Well, that was a question mark about John Wall coming into college, whether he was going to be a good shooter at this level, and he certainly has been.
Nice jumper from Salazzo. 80-46. Patterson and Wall, 2 starters still in, with Liggins, Orton, and Dotson. Liggins doesn't get the foul. Salazzo the other way for the Buccaneers of East Tennessee State. Oh, my. Smashed on the attempt was Lucas Powderis, freshman from Lithuania. Wall, well, I don't know if he called it off the glass, but expected it to go in no matter. Tough. And he'll get the foul on Orton. Great Wall of Lexington. Boom. What a player.
Greg Gumbel in New York with a tournament update in Oklahoma City. These two teams are having fun. Can this guy play bombs away? Northern Iowa's Ali Farokmanesh for 3. 53-48. Panthers in the lead, under 8.5 to play. Dick and Jay in New Orleans.
All right, Greg, and here in New Orleans, it's Kentucky Wildcats looking at a possible century game. They scored 103 times this year, and with 10:41 to go, it would appear that even with the reserves, with their talent pool, that they're going to make the 100 mark. At the line for East Tennessee State is Justin Tubbs, the junior from Trussville, Alabama. He now with 10 points, and 2 free throws go down for the Buccaneers.
And Greg Gumbel was talking about Northern Iowa, and that's a very good basketball team. They're solid defensively. They control the ball. They control the tempo. But have you had a greater challenge in the NCAA tournament with names than Northern Iowa?
No, that's like putting your head in a blender.
Joe Heligba and Ali Faroukmaneh.
Eggleseder.
Jordan Eggleseder. What happened to Joe Smith?
Well, they have KOCH, which should be Coke, even that. What a scramble inside, and East Tennessee State can't get it down, but they get the ball back and almost stolen by Bledsoe.
But how about how East Tennessee State is battling? And the crowd here giving both teams a hand for going after it. Kentucky going after every shot and not allowing anything easy, but East Tennessee State coming back for more, not giving up and not giving an inch.
Salazzo freeing himself for the jumper. And pulled down by Perry Stevenson. Almost stolen by East Tennessee State. Wall sets up Dotson. No luck on the 3. The baseball pass to Tubbs. And Justin Tubbs with a slam. He has 13.
I think a lot of teams are looking for a good quarterback, and Adam Salazzo appears to be one. That was a heck of a pass.
Bledsoe back in the game. The high score with 26 points, his high for the year. Dotson, the 3. He has not been with his usual shooting touch tonight, but he often drains a series of 3. Tubbs from 3-point range. Stevenson with the rebound. Watch John Wall now, how he searches the floor, sets up the play, patiently runs the show, this freshman. No chance to look for the pass to set up someone else because Salazzo reaches around with a foul, and that'll send Wall to the line. The 17th foul on the Buccaneers of East Tennessee State. 9 on Kentucky. Cousins and Liggins back in for Kentucky.
If you were going to build a point guard from scratch, I think you would build him exactly like John Wall.
He reminds you of anyone, you know, in the last 25 years?
He's a little bit like Derrick Rose, except I think he's a little bit more explosive. Rose is a little bit more of a power player, but I think John Wall's a better player.
A reminder, 10 years have passed again, so here in March, please fill out your census form and mail it back. Wall with 17 points, 9 assists, and 4 rebounds. So he's hit his average, even though he's not taken many shots.
And you don't want to say that the performance has been effortless because he's put great effort into it, but it has certainly been a smooth effort by John Wall.
Cousins with a foul. That's his 4th. Gene Bartow, we've now located him. He was at practice yesterday and was here in New Orleans to root on his son Murray, head coach at East Tennessee State. He told us how tough would it be to follow the legend John Wooden at UCLA after 10 national titles, and Murray's dad in 1976 shared an office with Coach Wooden, and so the phone would ring and sometimes Wooden would be there. He told us what
John Wooden would answer the phone and say, "Coach Bartow's office, John Wooden speaking."
Is that intimidating at all? Your secretary is John Wooden.
Well, how about the story that that Coach Bartow told that said when the secretary would answer the phone and someone would be asking about basketball camp, she would say, to which camp are you referring?
The John Wooden camp or the Gene Bartow camp?
He said, what chance did I have after that question was asked?
Oh. That old lesson, you just can't follow one of the greats of all time coaching.
Well, I was growing up in Los Angeles at the time, and Gene Bartow did a magnificent job there. His first year took UCLA to the Final Four with 28-4.
And they were ready to run him out of town because he didn't win the title. Nice effort underneath. Michael Williams now has 16 to lead the Buccaneers. Texas and Wake Forest coming up. Winners of these 2 games in this bracket in the East will advance the winner on to Syracuse for the Eastern region. 10 assists now for Wall. Kentucky 13 away from the century mark. Another block, the 8th of the game.
Well, you have to admire East Tennessee State and their confidence to keep taking that ball in there, but this has been all Big Blue. And it's been not March Madness, but Big Blue Madness.
East Tennessee actually had the lead at 10-9 early in the game, and then Kentucky went on a tremendous run, something like 14-1. Field goal percentage 57%, 25-9 in assists, 11 blocks for the Wildcats. Michael Williams leads the Buccaneers with 17 and 26 for Bledsoe, a career freshman high. John Calipari, Derrick Rose 2 years ago at Memphis, Tyreek Evans at the point guard a year ago, John Wall this year. That run, that triumvirate of talent as freshmen, amazing run for Calipari. He's got a good eye for a guard.
Some coaches don't have one point guard like that in a career. He's had 3 in 3 years.
Isaiah Brown at the line hits the free throw now with 8. 87-56.
Wall's got 17 points, 10 assists, and just a single turnover. I think any coach would take that old 10-1 assist turnover.
Oh, yeah, right. Patterson from outside. Batted out to Salazzo.
Well, he's not perfect. That was his first miss of the ballgame.
9 for 9 until that shot. Tubbs. So he started the game, Justin Tubbs. It was his shooting that gave East Tennessee an early lead. 16 for him on the game.
Isaiah Brown did a nice job there shielding off the shot block by Cousins.
A steal and a bat forward by Hubbard. What a good play. And Salazzo's the beneficiary. Well, a high moment for Murray Bartow, but not enough. Freshmen and players of the year. Rose at Memphis State, Evans last year, Wall at Kentucky. Can you separate the talents of these 3?
I mean, if you could have a choice between those 3, you'd be a very happy person to be able to get any one of them. Tyreek Evans having a terrific rookie year with the Sacramento Kings. Derrick Rose playing very well with the Chicago Bulls in the NBA. But John Wall has the good qualities, or the best qualities of both. None of them are truly great shooters, but John Wall is just as good of a shooter as either one. But he's a better passer. And I think that's the one thing he does better than either of those other 2, Evans and Rose.
How about defender?
As a defender, I would probably put Evans a little bit above because of his size. He's 6'7", and he's got great length, so he can guard a variety of different players.
Foul away from the ball, a hold against East Tennessee State.
East Tennessee State.
Wall's just got a great demeanor. I mean, all of them had that, but his is on a little bit of a different plane.
Well, what happened then in mid-year when he seemed unhappy? Something almost like he wanted to get out of there. You know, there was kind of the rumble for a half a week.
Yeah, I think it was more he was being challenged by his coach when they were winning to be better. And he might not have reacted in the best possible way and said something to the media, and it became I don't want to say a faux controversy, but it became a little bit of a tempest in the teapot. But he has really handled himself well with all of the attention that he's received as much pressure as he's had on him, really this entire team. For them to be 32-2, about to be 33-2 after 35 games.
Bledsoe,
Testament to their toughness.
Bledsoe with a steal at the other end. 6 minutes to go here in New Orleans. 87-60, and Salazzo whistled down after the play. Here are the only 2 losses for Kentucky this year. January 26th, Devin Downey scored 30 as South Carolina at home pulled off the 68-62 win. A month later, Tennessee at home defeats the Wildcats 74-65. They used a 9-0 run at the end of the game to pin the second loss on Kentucky. And there at the other end, Michael Williams giving Kentucky a little of its own medicine.
Well, that's what this team did well in the Atlantic Sun. It got out in transition and used its athleticism, which is considerable for the Atlantic Sun Conference, but
he makes it look so easy. 29 now for Bledsoe. 8 for 8 from 3-point range. That's a Kentucky tournament record. Goes by Tony Delk with that successful make from outside.
I was wondering why Tony Delk was pulling on Calipari's coat to get him out of there.
Isaiah Brown, and going over the top is Daniel Orton, and he lands hard. You can feel the vibration of that one. Ooh, boy, that's just like throwing him off the back of a pickup truck. He tried to go up for the block and lost his feet underneath him and cartwheeled him down on his back. And that's more scary, perhaps, than injurious, hopefully. Luckily, his head didn't slam against the floor. That's a good sign, though, that he's able to wander back to the bench. And he also was pinned with a foul as he went up for the block. At the line, Isaiah Brown looking for his 9th point.
Isaiah Brown's just a sophomore. He's getting better and better. He's going to be a really good player for East Tennessee State.
Now they're going to get Mike Smith back, the man who has 1,000 points in 3 years. He was injured in the preseason, actually played 4 games, so he'll be back next year. And they lose only one man off this roster, Jacoby Davis. So Murray Bartow did a great job this year with the injuries and the depth to a potential 7-foot center. Should have a solid team with the Buccaneers in Johnson City next year.
And no challenge for the Atlantic Sun. They'll challenge Belmont, coached by Rick Byrd. Rick Byrd has done a magnificent job at Belmont.
They're in Nashville.
You think about what that conference has done. He is human.
Bledsoe finally misses from outside. The first time that he's missed a tray. 8 for 9. Michael Williams, and that'll be a charge on him.
But when you think what the Atlantic Sun has done the last couple of years in the NCAA Tournament, 2 years ago, Belmont took Duke down to the wire. And last year it was East Tennessee State taking Pittsburgh, the #1 seed, down to the wire.
Michael Williams leaves with his 5th foul, leading scorer for the Buccaneers tonight with 18. Showed some good talent, so he'll be back as well. Tommy Hubbard, their leading scorer, 14 a game. He'll be back.
That's a hard-working player there, Michael Williams. Just a junior. His last 3 coming into this one, he was averaging 21 a game and put up 19 against Kentucky. That's a solid performance.
Ramon Harris into the game, number 5. Boy, that was a tough catch, and Liggins able to go back down and hook in the soft bank. He has 4. Four minutes to go. Not a backcourt violation, touched by a Wildcat.
One of the reasons I think so many of the starters are still in is I think John Calipari wants to keep this team playing NCAA tournament basketball. He doesn't want them taking their foot off the gas. This team's too young for them to go to the bench and relax for the last part of this game.
Lob into Cousins. Can't get up for the slam. He's fouled and a little upset as he works his way to the bench. Didn't like the way he was handled. Timeout. Let's go back to the play. DeMarcus Cousins, number 15, that last play, trying to get up for the one-handed dunk, and he's fouled, and he apparently was not at all happy about the way he was moved around. You see the reaction.
And DeMarcus Cousins has had some problems with his reactions throughout the season, but he's gotten better and better with that. But and he has worked at it. But I had an old coach that once used to tell players that when they reacted badly after getting fouled, he would say, what, are you too good to get fouled? Just step to the line, hit your free throw. You know, somebody's trying to stop you from doing what you're doing. You're not too good to get fouled. Move on to the next play and hit your free throws. And that's something that I think would be a good lesson for DeMarcus Cousins. But you know, he has really worked on trying to keep his emotions in check, and I think he's making a lot of progress.
There are the games coming up, including here in New Orleans, Wake Forest and Texas. The winner of that to meet Kentucky on Saturday. Tubbs from 3. And Kentucky 6 points away from the 100-point mark. 3:20 to go. And let's see, Cousins, a starter, still in there. Bledsoe off the bench. He could be a starter anywhere. Here he is with an all-time high as a Wildcat. Wall, the starting guard. He stays in for Calipari. Oh, what a pass, and a foul from behind. Tubbs denying Ramon Harris.
DeMarcus Cousins doing a very good job of reading the double team. Double team comes post to post to his left shoulder, and he just looks over that left shoulder and delivers the ball underneath the basket to Ramon Harris. One thing that Kentucky's got to be mindful of these last 3 minutes. East Tennessee State is going to continue to play hard. They're not going to give Kentucky anything easy. And I'm not suggesting in any way, shape, or form that anything dirty can or would happen. But you do have to protect yourself from a hard foul and make sure that you go off of 2 feet.
The hand for Eric Bledsoe. He leaves with 29, 4 more than he had scored in any game this year, and 8 for 9 from 3-point range. Harris hits both free throws, a 30-point Kentucky advantage. Down under 3 to go. Isaiah Brown, and he is fouled by Ramon Harris. His first. Ramon from Anchorage, Alaska. Fans up there in the 50th state, 4-time state player of the year in Alaska. Isaiah Brown on the line looking for his 11th point. He's been perfect from the line, 4 for 4. Well, Monday, folks, in a city this hot, you're going to get burned. Monday's most watched drama is all new. Catch CSI Miami next Monday, only CBS. Another rebound for DeMarcus Cousins. 2:45 to go. Kentucky will use some clock with a big lead. They're all running the show at the point.
A couple of back screens getting DeMarcus Cousins down into the low post.
And the foul is Darius Miller back in, one of the starters, the sophomore, will go to the line. And we're going to see some of the fellas that don't get a chance to play much. But, you know, I love these guys. The ones that work all year in practice, and they make the stars have to play hard, and they get very few chances to play. And they probably care as much about the team as anyone, rooting for the big guys. And they finally get moments like this. 55 is Josh Harrelson. He's in for the first time, a junior, 6'10", from St. Charles, Missouri. Number 12 is also in, Mark Krebs. He's a 6'5" senior from Newport, Kentucky.
Mark Krebs, a walk-on, was awarded a scholarship earlier this year by John Calipari. He has played for 3 different Kentucky head coaches: Tubby Smith, Billy Gillespie, and now John Calipari.
Hard to believe it, Kentucky, isn't it? The steal. Harris sends it ahead. Miller for 3. Krebs can't get the rebound, and the Buccaneers the other way, and the bad bounce. It's, Sheldon Cooley had trouble controlling, and then a foul is called. That'll be on Ramon Harris. His
second. Cooley's a nice player. Just a freshman and second leading assist guy on this team. And he's got a chance to be really good as he matures.
And Salazzo, a sophomore, has shown a good shooting touch tonight. He's got a dozen. 4 for 7 from the line. Under 2 to go. Our first of the night session here in the opening round, East region. Salazzo makes it a 98-68 game.
Darius Miller having to run the point out front.
Kentucky against Hartford, Arkansas, and Sam Houston hit 100. They're 2 away here tonight. And a turnover. Harrelson boxing it around. Salazzo. He gets up there, doesn't he, and fought for that rebound, earned another trip to the line.
Well, and that right-hand drive, Salazzo switched to the left hand, almost completed a really beautiful play.
Harrelson with a foul.
At the line, shooting 2.
Averaged on the season under 4 points a game, did Salazzo. He's played like a starter. A reminder, TV Guide calls How I Met Your Mother sitcom magic start to finish. You can catch a new episode next Monday, only CBS.
And number 4, Bruce Brown.
The team that lost 4 of its 5 starters, then lost one of the starters to injury 4 games into the season, lost another potential starter in a fatal car accident, and yet they were able to, under the guidance of Murray Bartow, win the Atlantic Sun Tournament. 6-game winning streak to end the season.
They were the 5th seed in that tournament and wound up beating Bob Hoffman's Mercer squad, led by James Florence, really an outstanding guard.
Still the magic about scoring 100. The Kentucky fans hoping one of the young guys off the bench that don't get to play able to put one in the hole and accomplish the century. Maybe it'll be Krebs. He gets the pass, he goes up the lane, and he's blocked. Good basketball name, Krebs. K-R-E-B-S.
A nice back cut he made. Full step and go.
From outside, they beat the buzzer, but it wouldn't fall for Darius Miller. Final minute. Long range 3, not there. From Travis Jones. About a 3-second differential in the clocks. Shoot that one, Krebs. It's your moment. 13 on the shot clock. Krebs here, number 12. The walk on. There's the shot. Looked good. And the foul. That's John Hood, a freshman guard. He too doesn't see a lot of duty. But he's going to the line where 2 free throws. First NCAA tournament win since 2007 for the Wildcats. In their 50th NCAA tournament, the winningest university basketball program ever, with over 2,000 wins, 2020. And now Hood for 100. Fans wanted that and got it from guy deep on the bench. Well, a nice move by Deshaun Johnson, the junior, just into the game. Rare appearance for him, and that'll